Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. I'm excited to have one of my favorite organizations on the planet, which is Central Florida Vocal Arts, with two amazingly talented, giving, generous human beings joining us. We have Sarah Lysiak and Michaela Wright with us, and we're here to talk about Central Florida Vocal Arts. If you don't know about it, you're going to learn a little bit about it today, maybe a lot, and then they have their upcoming Summer Institute 2024. And we're going to talk about what that means. You all are always asking me to share all of the arts with you that I know about. And this is one of my favorite organizations. Teresa Smith-Levin is a dear friend of mine, and I just love everything that you all do. So welcome to the show, Sarah and Michaela. How are you today?
Great. Happy to be here.
Very.
Doing well. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. I love that you guys are here. I love that you're going to educate us. I told you before we went live that the audience likes to know a little bit about you. So I'll start with you, Sarah. Tell us a little bit about Sarah Lysiak.
I grew up as a singer. I grew up in Indiana, and I kind of made my way through 2 degrees in vocal performance, specifically focusing on opera and classical music. And then I made my way to Florida after finishing those degrees in teaching as a voice teacher in Houston for a decade. I'm doing a lot of performing with Houston Grand Opera, Houston Ballet, other organizations. And I came to Florida, and Teresa Smith-Levin, our executive director, actually initially reached out to me via Facebook and said, hey, I know you judged some of my students at Solo and Ensemble. Would you be interested in a voice teaching position with CFVA? And I was like, sure, like tell me more about it. And then within like a week of me starting, she said, hey, also we have this assistant education director position if you're interested in interviewing for that. I interviewed for that position. 2 weeks later, the director of education moved and stepped down. So she said, hey, are you actually interested in going into an even more bigger responsibility kind of position? So initially it was in a co-director position starting in April of 2022. And then my co-director, Danielle, stepped down summer of 2023. She was having a baby, focusing on that time in her life, and came into the sole director of education position in August of 2023. So about 9 months or so in now. And still teaching voice. I teach voice privately and with CFVA, and I direct all the educational programming, the logistical coordination, anything that we do that's related to education, I'm overseeing and helping to execute. And it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. We just finished 2 weekends of recitals at the Winter Park Library this past weekend. And we had one of our big arts initiatives there, which is a program that serves Title I students and gives them free voice lessons and helps bridge the gap of arts accessibility. And we had 38 students that performed across 7 high schools in Orange County. We had choir director support, all voice teacher support, parent support. We did a big reception. So now we're kind of coming down off that high a little bit and focusing on the next project, which I'm sure we'll talk about more here in a second. So that's kind of where I came from. Amazing. And where I am now.
Boy, that sounded rehearsed, and I know it wasn't. So good. So good. All right. Thank you for that, Sarah. Michaela, how about you?
Golly, I have to go after that. That was really good, Sarah. So my name is Michaela, obviously. I came to CFVA as a singer. I have 2 degrees in opera, one from Jacksonville University and one from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I graduated in 2020 and decided and was forced to come back and live with family because it was 2020. So, you know, it was a good time. So that brought me back to Orlando because I'm originally from Orlando. And I auditioned for CFVA, and then I got into voice teaching, and then I got into the studio management, and I also work in the marketing department, which I love as well. So I wear a lot of hats at CFVA, but I love it. It's a lot of fun. You know, you get to feel like you're really making a difference. I teach some of the students that Sarah's talking about, the Title I students. I have 9 of them, and 7 of them sang on the recital. And there's just no way to describe the amount of pride you have in the progress that these students are able to make in these lessons. It's amazing.
Beautiful. Thank you. That was perfect. See, I think it's important that people get to know who's involved so they can hear your passion for what you do. And they can see how excited you get about it. Because the arts, I feel like we have a thriving arts community here. We have so much to offer, and so many people don't know about the little or the the Central Florida Vocal Arts. When I have had Teresa on before, every time someone says, I didn't even know Central Florida Vocal Arts existed. So we're all trying to change that. We want people to have arts accessibility, and we want people to know about the programs and the wonderful things that you all do in the community. So thank you for sharing about that. And today we're here to talk about the Summer Institute. So I will let you, one of you, whoever is going to take the helm first on that, tell us what the Summer Institute is and what that means for our Central Florida arts community.
So Summer Institute, actually, fun fact, was the flagship educational program of CFVA starting 11 years ago. So when Teresa first created the company, that was the first educational program they did. And it's grown a lot since then. It used to be just like a 1-week program with ages like 7 to 18. Now we do it in separate it into 2 weeks. So basically it's a 6-day performing arts intensive. This year we're going to be hosted at the Renaissance Theater right outside of downtown Orlando. And we were there last year as well, and it was an amazing experience, and we're back there again. And basically what we're trying to do in 6 days is the kids are coming in and they're putting together a show in 6 days, as well as performing in a solo voice recital. So ahead of time, the education team, which this year I'll be directing Summer Institute and Michaela will be in an assistant director position, we are coming up with the concept for the show. We're writing the outline, we're selecting the music, developing the characters, and then we're bringing in a script writer on that first day to help kind of fill in the blanks and actually write the script based off of what we've come up with. And the kids audition on the very first day, and then we go and we meet at the end of the day, all of the faculty, we cast the show, we get the script that same night, we come back Tuesday morning, the kids get the scripts, they get their role assignments, all of their music, everything they're going to be responsible for the rest of the week, and we go heavy into rehearsals all the way through Saturday. And then on Saturday, we perform the show. And so we have costumes, lights, we're on stage, we have cues, we got blocking, we have an amazing choreographer that comes and choreographs the show. And it seems impossible. This is my 3rd year doing it. It seems impossible every year that we're ever going to be able to pull it off on that first day. Like there's no way we'll actually get to this hour-long production by the end of the week. We always pull it off. It's very much a team effort. Everyone that's on faculty is pulling their weight and collaborating and problem solving, troubleshooting issues throughout the week. And this year we're going to have our 7 through 12-year-old age group, which is going to be June 10th through 15th. And then our 13 through 18-year-old age group, which is going to be June 17th through the 22nd, 2 completely different shows. The shows are not the same whatsoever. So we write a new show for each week. We just cater, obviously, and personalize the instruction per the age group and what's appropriate for them. And what we were talking about earlier about that program that we had the recital for this week in our Arts 1-to-1 program, we are funding 25 full ride scholarships this year in conjunction with Orange County. So 25 of those students that are involved in the Arts 1-to-1 lesson program get to come for free this summer. There's no financial barriers for their attendance. And obviously our goal is that continued growth within the cultivation with CFVA and creating that pipeline of accessibility from teaching into performing. So we're super, super excited about that. We actually are completely full for summer 2. We don't have any spots left, but we still have, I think maybe 15 to 20 spots left for summer 1. So our younger kids, and we're super excited about it. It's like one of the most passionate things we do here at CFVA. It takes probably a good 5 to 6 months of planning before we actually even get into the theater and start the execution of the camp. And Michaela will be assisting me with that this year, which I'm very thankful for because it's a lot of responsibility. And we already work together all the time in education, so it's going to be a great fit.
Michaela, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I work with these students all the time, you know, my personal private students and some of the other students as well, but I'm constantly amazed by how much they're able to achieve. You know, it's easy to underestimate kids, right? But you see what they can do. It's just amazing. And even though I know they're amazing, I'm still amazed by it. It's crazy.
What I love about, well, there's so many things I love. First of all, I love the larger impact that Central Florida Vocal Arts has been able to do because of funding. And where does funding come from? The recognition of all the things you did. And so it's been such a wonderful journey to watch Teresa and the whole organization grow and make more of an impact. What I heard you say outside of the insanity of that schedule, which I love, is that these kids are learning more than just music, collaboration, teamwork, working together, problem solving. I think that is such a beautiful combination. And then they're doing it in something they're passionate about, which is just the long-term, long-range impact on their world, their school, their life. I mean, I think all of it goes so much deeper than we give you all credit for. So kudos for that. I think you're both going to need a long vacation after that is over, because wow, that is intensive, but you love it, right? So that's what the arts are about, finding what your passion is, in my opinion, finding what your passion is, and then figuring out how you can incorporate that passion into your world and to what you do. Do you have any, like, are there secrets to the 6 days intensive? Is it like caffeine and no sleep? Is it you have little brainstorming sessions? I mean, there must be a little bit of a method to the madness.
I think it really comes down to a lot of really strong organization and communication before the camp even starts. So making sure there's a lot of accountability on whoever is involved with the communication with the students, with the families. We're sending audition cuts ahead of time. We're sending the communication about what the schedule is going to look like every day, what the expectation is. So we're sending out wrap-up emails at the end of every day and updating all the parents. This is what we did today. This is what we accomplished. This is what we need from you to assist us with at home. So the kids are coming in prepared for the next day. So, I mean, the day for the faculty, so people that aren't in a director position, is ending a lot earlier than people that are. And people like Michaela and I, who are in a director position, are also doing the same job as everybody that's just faculty. So we're teaching the students, we're blocking our own scenes, teaching all the music, doing all the directing for that, in addition to all the logistical things. So I always say, like, when Summer Institute comes, it's like you're basically working 24 hours a day for about 2 weeks straight is what it feels like. I remember a couple summers ago, my first summer when I was working with the previous co-director, we were on the phone at 1:30 in the morning on that Monday night going through the scripts and saying, hey, do we need to change this? Let's adjust this. Let's make these adjustments, because who's going to go in the morning to make sure that we get everything printed and copied, make sure we have everything organized, so that way when the kids show up, we have everything organized for them. We don't waste any time. So it's very much taskmaster oriented, but it's super fun. It's just, you kind of have to know that you're going to be riding this high for a really long time. You're not getting a lot of sleep. You are definitely exerting yourself to an extreme level, but then you get to see the product, and you get to see the kids grow, and you get to see the kids also building partnership with each other. And that's been a really cool thing, especially kids coming from schools where, you know, Orange County is a huge school district, one of the largest districts in the country. A lot of times these kids would never meet these kids from another school, but because they meet about Summer Institute, then they become friends, and they tell each other about auditions that are outside of their schools, and then find other ways to collaborate together. So like what you said earlier, Ted, was really cool about the fact that we're building life skills beyond musical skills. It's about learning responsibility, teamwork skills, collaboration, the ability to overcome obstacles, confidence building. So it's like, whether or not they're looking at a career in music is not an important factor for us. It's about them immersing themselves in the process and believing in themselves and watching themselves grow. So yeah, the trick to doing it is just to literally buckle up and know that that it's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. That's what I would say.
Definitely. All right, tell me again how can kids get involved? The 13 to 18 group is already full, right?
Yes.
So you do have space in the younger group. Will you repeat the younger group age range, and then can you let them know how they can sign up, or how they can inquire more information?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can get on a wait list for that Summer Institute too, which is that 13 to 18-year-old. So if any kids drop out for whatever reason, we can go to that wait list and consult that. So it's not like, obviously doesn't guarantee you a spot, but I mean, if there's a great interest there, you can communicate with us through that. The best way to get in touch with us is education@centralfloridaVocalArts.org. That email goes to Michaela and I, so whoever gets to it first can respond and provide that information. For Summer Institute 1, which is still open, best way to get that information is to go straight to our website, www.centralfloridaVocalArts.org. And if you go to the education page, it'll have an enroll now sort of blurb on there. It'll tell you more information about the program and the expenses, the dates, and things like that. It'll take you to another website, and then you can enroll from there. And if you have any questions about that through that process, send us an email and Michaela will help you with that. She's sort of our software guru. So if anytime people have issues with those kinds of things, signing up for classes or lessons, Michaela comes in to kind of save the day for that. So June 10th through 15th, 2024 at the Renaissance Theater. That's our summer one. And you can get all that information on our website.
Michaela, were you going to say something?
Can I just say how cool it is that we get to do like this new kind of work that we're creating at the Ren? Because they're really known for doing new works. And I think that's so cool that students get to work in a real, professional theater, and that they get to be someplace where creativity is constantly blossoming. I think it's so neat.
Good afternoon once again.
It's awesome. I agree. All right, one last personal question before we head out. And you can find out more, centralfloridaVocalArts.org. You can email them at education@centralfloridaVocalArts.org. But if I want to ask you each a personal question, just off the top of your head, favorite character or role that you've played? Sarah?
That's such an easy one for me because I was very lucky to perform a dream role when I was quite young, which was Mimi in La Bohème by Puccini. And it was something I didn't think I would get the opportunity to do until I was much older, but it sort of got thrown to me right after I finished grad school. That was by far the best role I've ever done. And if you're somebody that knows the music of Puccini or has performed it, you know how rewarding it is of a process to learn that music and to go into that process. So hands down, Mimi for sure.
Okay, that was a fast answer. How about you, Michaela?
For me, it's Orfeo in Orfeo ed Euridice by Gluck. I love early music and I love pants rolls, and I think that the music in that opera is just so gorgeous. I had such a fun time learning it and such a great time being able to do stage combat and all kinds of cool stuff. Being a man on stage is so much fun. But yeah, super fun. And I also just love the, the mythology of Orpheus and Eurydice. I think everybody kind of reignited the craze with Hadestown. And that's around the time that I did the show. So it was really, really cool.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you both. I love what you're doing. Give Teresa Smith-Levin a big hug from me. Go to centralfloridaVocalArts.org or email them if you want to learn more about Summer Institute or anything that they are doing. Email them at education@centralfloridaVocalArts.org. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Michaela. Y'all get involved if you're interested. They're just as wonderful in person as they are on this show, I promise you, and they will get you where you need to be. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon.